Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into today's video. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing the Line. We're going to take a look at this story that is developing here on Polygon.com. It's Nickmercs' skin has been taken out of Call of Duty and Call of Duty Warzone due to his, let's just put it in quotation marks, shall we, bigoted anti-LGBT tweet he put out the other day. Now, there was two factions of protesters in the street in a small town in the US protesting over whether they should have Pride Month in a school for children. Now, where I stand on the matter is no, children should just be let to grow up and make up their own decision. They do not need to know about the ins and outs of the LGBTQ plus 2 spirited, whatever you want to call it, community, because they're children, basically. It's not something children need to be brushed up on. And if you do want to talk to children about that, that should be left up to the parents, let alone leaving it up to these propagandist teachers that are just cropping up all over the place now and brainwashing children in schools as young as 3. Now, we'll get into this story. This one's from Polygon.com. Now, this is a pretty biased story. You can actively see who they side with on this, and they are not siding with Nickmercs. He had a skin and his Activision promotion taken off the video game Call of Duty and Call of Duty Warzone after just putting his own opinion on the matter out there on Twitter, which is, he should know better. If anyone's been following any of this culture war that is going on at the moment, you should know better. If you say the truth, if you say how you actually feel, you will get cancelled and you will get attacked. Now, every media source that I've been able to find, mainstream media, gaming media, anything like that, has been attacking Nickmercs about this tweet. The only places that aren't attacking him and are actually holding him up are places like Fox News, Timcast, anyone on the right, middle ground that has any sort of common decency or sense. Now, I don't know where you stand on the matter, but I think just tweeting that you should leave children alone and leave it up to the parents and let everyone love who they want to love is a pretty based and vanilla tweet, and I don't think he expected it to get this much attention. But the left needs someone to cancel because they are being cancelled now. We've had Bud Light getting cancelled. We've had Target getting cancelled. Their stock has dropped $15 billion at market cap value. Anheuser-Busch is still suffering massively from their Bud Light fiasco, and they've kind of just doubled down. And now Activision has actively stepped into the ring and taken a side in this, and they've removed his skin from the game, and they will hopefully face the same consequences. Now, a lot of the people who get into video games, my age, younger, and even older people that do watch Twitch streams and watch people like Nickmercs or Dr. Disrespect or Tim the Tatman, things like that, if they were blind to the entire culture war that was going on, that was literally started by Gamergate, they aren't blind to it anymore. And the silent majority of those people, hopefully, will stand up and will voice their opinion, and they will put it down and not give Activision and companies that are promoting this transgender and LGBT content onto children. They will not give them their money, and they will not give them the support. Now, a lot of the tweets I've seen following Nickmercs and Dr. Disrespect as well are in favour of them too, and are pretty much anti-LGBT. Well, they're not anti-LGBT, but they are pro-Nickmercs and Dr. Disrespect. Now, we'll get into the story here from Polygon. Just bear in mind that this is a biased as story, and they are obviously trying to slander his name. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had several alleys of legal, retribution open to him at the moment, because some of the stories I've read about this poor dude, and I don't even watch his content, I've seen a bit of his stuff, but some of the stuff these companies and places are saying about him is pretty goddamn disgusting. And this is a mild one. Polygon, Call of Duty removes Nickmercs' skin following streamer's anti-LGBTQ tweet. In a follow-up stream, Nickmercs said he would not apologise or take down the tweet. Call of Duty publisher Activision has removed Nickmercs Operator Bundle from its Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone stores after the streamer and former MLG champion it was named for made an anti-LGBTQ tweet. Well, the tweet isn't actually anti-LGBT or anything. On Tuesday, esports broadcaster Chris Puckett responded to footage shared on Twitter of an anti-LGBTQ protesters attacking pro-LGBTQ demonstrators in Glendale, California. Outside a school board meeting, in his quote tweet, he said, "Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love. Live your own life." This is a said tweet here. This happened 4 blocks from an Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life. That would be all well and good if the LGBT people, and you can see Antifa mainly here, wouldn't just go and attack the people who oppose them. Like, they're saying that these, I think there are a lot of Armenian people, there's tweets and things I've seen coming out, which seems to be like the minorities and like Middle Eastern people and even WOGs here in Australia. They're the only ones that actually stand up for any of this and will actively, physically put themselves in the firing line to stop all this disgusting stuff that this whole brainwashing agenda is going after children. They are the only ones that actually stand up and stop any of it. They're the ones getting attacked, and the LGBT protesters, which is basically just Antifa, are the ones who started it. And just saying that what Nickmercs said in this tweet is just, it's nothing. He just said, just leave the kids alone. What's wrong with that? I think Activision has come out and they've actually shown their true colours, and they just promoted themselves as pro-pedophile and pro-groomer. I mean, they make video games for kids, so they're literally working with children and in the business with children, and they're pro-groomer. That's pretty goddamn disturbing. Nick Kolcheff, who streams... sorry if I pronounced that wrong, who streams his name under Nickmercs, tweeted in response with a common this is where it gets disgusting. Common anti-LGBTQ talking point that far-right conservatives use to disparage trans people. He said nothing about trans people. They should leave the little children alone, Nickmercs tweeted. That's the real issue here. Numerous Twitter users tweeted their disappointment in response to the statement. That's bullshit, for one, because you go and look at the tweet, you look at anything he's put out, and there's nothing but love, respect, and people putting their hand out to help him. And they agree with him. They should just leave him alone. The following day, Nickmercs live streamed and said he wouldn't apologise or remove the statement from Twitter, which is fantastic, because usually when something like this happens, the people see that they're going to be coming for their checkbook and coming for their bank account, and they're going to be losing their revenue stream. They fold instantly, which I don't really blame them sometimes. I mean, like, if you're going to have your whole world crashing down because you said a benign comment that you have no idea, like, he might not have any idea what this culture war really is. I'm sure he's got other things on his agenda. And unless you're really deep into it, then you don't know what's going on half the time anyway. And he didn't fold. He stood by his guns, and he stood up, maybe because he's a new father, and hopefully him and his ilk all stand by him, and they, I don't know, like, band together and start something new. Get off of Twitch and go to Twitter or Rumble or something like that, and I don't know, not get bullied into towing the line and saying what the left and BlackRock and things like that want you to say. The following day, Nickmercs live stream said he wouldn't apologise. I'm not apologising about this tweet because I don't feel like it's wrong, he said, saying that he and his wife want to be the ones to speak to their child about stuff like that, which is completely fine. I mean, if you are raising your child and you don't want to bring up to them what LGBT is or any of that because they're babies or because they're 3 to 5 or whatever, and they don't know and they don't want to know yet, what is wrong with that? I don't get it. It's like the same thing with the birds and the bees. If they're too young to, like, want to talk about it, know what it is, and you don't want to talk about it yet, that's up to the parents to decide. The parents are the guardians of these children. You don't get to tell other people what they want, what they should be teaching their children, especially in the US. I mean, if someone wants to raise their child as Muslim, if someone wants to raise their child as Catholic, or an atheist, that's up to them. That's up to the parents. And if you don't want to raise your child telling a baby that can't even take care of themselves yet about the birds and the bees and the bees and the bees and the birds and the birds and the birds that think they're bees and the bees that think they're birds, and sometimes they're a bit of both, that's up to the parents. That's got nothing to do with what anyone else should be saying. And it should just be separated like church and state. If you want to send your kid to a Christian school, you got to pay for it. If you want to send your kid to a private school and they're Catholic or whatever it is, that's up to you. But if you want your kid just to go to a normal public school, they shouldn't be shoveling this propaganda down their throat, because I guarantee you there'd be just as many people up in arms about it if they were shoving religious ideologies down their throat, whether it be Muslim, Catholic, Christian, or Hindu, or anything like that. If they were shoving those religions down their throat, you'd be upset. But now, because they're shoving the LGBT religion down their throat, people are supposed to just accept it, because it is a religion. It's turned into a cult. I mean, I know half a dozen gay people that absolutely hate what this has turned into, and this whole chest feeding thing where women are losing their womanhood to this whole movement. It's disgusting. I mean, I remember growing up and there was things as tomboys, and like my sister, she is a tomboy. If she grew up now in an environment like that, she wouldn't have just been a tomboy. They would have told her she was lesbian, or she was whatever, a bicycle, who knows. There's people identifying as Hitler. There's people identifying as furries and all sorts of things these days, and that's what they're teaching kids. They're not just teaching kids that sometimes a man loves a man and a woman loves a woman. That's perfectly fine, but even then, that's a time and place for that. And if the parents don't want to teach them that yet, that's up to the parents. They are brainwashing children, and I'm surprised that this whole Call of Duty thing has turned into what it has, because usually people like Nickmercs would just fold immediately. And it's amazing to see the amount of backlash Activision is copping for this, and the amount of people that are standing behind him. Even Dr. Disrespect here. We'll switch stories, because this doesn't get any better. I mean, they just keep hounding the poor dude in this story here. And there was one there from Pink News today that I couldn't even read on air, because they were that venomous against him. But Dr. Disrespect calls for Call of Duty pathetic and removing Nickmercs' skin. Dr. Disrespect labels Call of Duty pathetic after Activision removed Nickmercs' operator bundle following the stream's controversial comments on a pro-LGBT demonstration. FaZe member and co-owner Nickmercs came under heavy criticism after responding to a tweet showing a protest over Pride Month being recognised in a school. Nick responded by saying that they should leave little children alone, resulting in backlash on Twitter. Not really. The most of it was pro-Nick. Then he went to defend his stance and insisted it was fair, citing that the recent birth of his child as motivation for his comment. This resulted in Call of Duty removing the bundle from Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. Some members of the community were supportive, while others uninstalled Call of Duty in protest. Now, a big personality has given their take on the topic, with Dr. Disrespect believing that Call of Duty made the wrong call. Dr. Disrespect slams COD PR team after Nickmercs' bundle tweet is removed. You can see his tweet here. Who's running Call of Duty PR and marketing now? The same people from the Purple Snakes. Pathetic. The phrase Purple Snakes is Dr. Disrespect's name for Twitch and the people responsible for running a streaming platform. He has been vocal against Twitch policy changes, most recently taking a swipe as it's retracted plans to restrict branded content. Doc comments on the removal of Nickmercs' bundle from the unique standpoint. Although he is known for streaming these days, he was once Call of Duty developer working with a level designer for Sledgehammer Games. See, I didn't know that. During his time at Sledgehammer Games, Dr. Disrespect helped design several of the multiplayer maps of Advanced Warfare, including Quarantine, Recovery, and Solo. Sweet. Admitted in October 2022 that he would love to see Advanced Warfare 2 and would consider getting involved again if asked. Tim the Tatman to remove COD basically hasn't done shit. I mean, you see the fat prick there anyway. We'll read this story too while we're here. Tim the Tatman asked Activision to remove his COD bundle in support of Nickmercs. Nickmercs has his operator skin bundle of Call of Duty. Controversial tweet. Now Tim the Tatman has called on developers to remove his bundle as well as show his support for Nick. The Nickmercs controversy. See, that's a pretty goddamn baseless thing to ask, isn't it? Oh, remove mine too. How about you just go and tweet out in support of the dude or something like that? I don't know. That might work a bit better. But we'll see if these three guys get together and they started their own thing, say on Twitter or Rumble or like that, they could get rid of Twitch entirely, because Twitch is nothing but a leftist propaganda platform. You can't say anything that they don't like. If you say anything, even not on the platform, if you say it in another platform, in your own private home even, and someone gets a hold of it, if you say something that Twitch doesn't agree with, they will take you down and they will take every penny that you've got. They are disgusting and they are controlled by the leftist establishment, just like apparently now Activision is as well. We all know that every time this month comes around and LGBT Pride Month comes up, there's always a few hiccups along the way and people saying stupid things and they get cancelled for it. And this has got to end. We're not being held accountable for having an opinion that they don't agree with. Cancelling people because they don't agree with this propaganda and this cult that the LGBT has been turned into. Because gay people get cancelled for saying things like that too. And just because they don't toe the line and go along with the narrative that they've got there, it's insane. Have a look at how much money Target has lost. All right. Target has lost $15 billion in shares because they were selling tucking tucking swimsuits for children and minors. And not just that, they had went into the children's section, it was all pro-LGBT. You do not need to talk to children about their sexual preferences because they are children and they shouldn't have sexual preferences yet. That is a thing for when hormones kick in and they start to turn into adults. And then when it comes up, it should be up to the parents to explain it to them. Why is that so hard for people to understand? You don't have to hate gay people or trans people or anything like that, and no one generally does. I don't know anyone that does hate them. You just need to leave people's kids alone and all this will go away. You won't hear about it in the news every day like it has been. It's insane. If you just leave people's kids alone, you won't have an issue. Don't go out there and promote trans shit to them. Don't go out there and promote top surgeries and going and coming out as gay or non-binary or as a fluffy dog. Don't promote kink stuff to them, because half of it isn't even just about the sexual preference. It's kink shit. It's like, here, I like to be tied up and blah 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 blah. To children, they don't need to know that. And if you are telling children that, if you're a teacher at a school like that school there in Glendale, and you want to express to a child your sexual fantasies and what they should have as a sexual fantasy, you are a groomer, hands down. You should be the ones getting cancelled. I remember 3 years ago that pedophiles were a bad thing and grooming was a bad thing, and now you want us to accept grooming and pedophiles as part of this rainbow flag propaganda? It's not going to happen. There will be blood spilt in the streets before people hand their children over to be indoctrinated into this leftist, mind-bogglingly pedophilic propaganda, whatever you want to call it. It's disgusting. And people will die to protect their children, and people will die to protect other people's children. If I don't even have kids, but I would kill or do anything to protect other people's children because they are innocent and they should be left out of this. And then you've got massive multi-million-dollar and billion-dollar companies grooming them or helping people that groom them, like Dylan Mulvaney is a groomer. Jeffrey Marsh is a groomer, and there's all these massive companies giving them tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, to help promote grooming. There is an issue here that runs deep into a dark, dark place. It runs into places like, where was Jeffrey Epstein getting his children from? What happened with the list? Things like that. That's where it goes. You're grooming children on a mass scale. That is terrifying. And people are not going to stand for it. If all these people that are pissed off about Nickmercs, getting getting removed and getting his his skin removed from Call of Duty, and Dr. Disrespect's taking a stand. If they all band together and they start their own thing and crush Twitch and crush Activision, and they start their own, I don't know, streaming service where they can get paid the money that they deserve, get paid what they want, they can promote their own products without being attacked by Twitch and things like that. They need to go to Twitter, they need to talk to Elon Musk, or they need to go to Rumble, talk to those guys there, something. They need to figure something out now and start this secondary streaming service, because the Twitch and the other ones, they are too far gone. You can't say what you want to say. You can't. You don't have to be out there saying that you're anti-LGBT or racist or anything like that. Those people shouldn't have a voice under it. And if they do have a voice, I don't want to hear it. You know, pick and choose. But it's freedom of speech. You should be able to say what you want, so we can point out the asshole in the room. Like, generally, I'm the asshole in the room 90% of the time. We need freedom of speech on all platforms, and these kids that are cancelling their Call of Duty, stopping playing it, deleting it off their consoles, they need to be supported. You guys need to band together, and you need to get together, and you need to keep this thing moving to protect people from voicing their opinions. If Nickmercs can't say it, and I'm sure he's got a bank account with multiple zeros in it, more than anyone I know, and Dr. Disrespect would be the same. If they can't say their own opinion online, or even just tweet something as inconspicuous, as bland as what he tweeted, then we have no hope in our own private world. If they're getting shut down and banned, imagine what's happening to everyday people. What do you guys think anyway? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.